overnight I came back from Lebanon. I had to take a test before I got on the plane. I had to take another test when I arrived. And you just got to wonder, some of this feels incredibly arbitrary, because the same situation when I was coming back from the U.S. multiple times over the last year, just took a test before I got on the plane and didn't have to take a test when I arrived. So when we speak about that government sensitivity, how do you get beyond that? Because, it can't just be a different rule for every country.
Oh, that's exactly right. And the governments, they have very real public health concerns about, not having COVID outbreaks domestically. But they really have struggled around testing in the last year. There's certain tests, like for example, China has a very sensitive COVID test. So you could get on a plane in Singapore and test negative, but the test there is maybe a bit more sensitive. So suddenly, that you're deemed a COVID case and you're bundled off into quarantine, assuming you can even go there because there's so many restrictions about travel. And I'm worried that there's going to be a lot of issues around the vaccine. The Australian Prime Minister said last week, or just a few days ago, that just because people are vaccinated doesn't mean we will necessarily open our borders. And vaccines have always been seen as the way to really get things going, to really get things moving again. And, it's just going to take a long time. I mean, the vaccine situation is spotty in different countries, and then we have all these sort of arbitrary restrictions in place as well. So it's still going to be a very confusing picture, and governments really need to come together to really figure out how they're going to reopen this and get things moving again.
Greg, how far away are we from that IATA visa, that travel visa that's supposedly going to keep us all sane when it comes to who's been vaccinated, who hasn't, and how quickly we can get on and off planes?
Well, they've had some tests with it. Singapore Airlines has run tests, and a few of the airlines in the region have run tests with the IATA product. But then there's other companies that are also trialing travel passes as well. In Singapore Airlines' case, Singapore Airlines, the main airline's doing the IATA travel pass, but then its subsidiary Scoot is using a locally developed app in Singapore. So I think there could be a lot of issues around the standardization of these various apps and standards and so forth. So that could be a ways away. And I would think that just a piece of paper should really be sufficient for it. I mean, there is always a danger that there might be some forgeries, but I really believe that it would be a fairly small issue, given the numbers of people that would want to get back on the road again. But it seems like they want to go for a digital pass, and so that's what we're going to be kind of striving to. I'm just concerned that the standards might not be there, and that the government and airline buy-in on the specific standard might not be there.
What do these bubbles like the Australia-New Zealand one mean for the airline outlook for the likes of Qantas and Air New Zealand? Yes, they've had a strong domestic market to help them essentially get back in the air, but now adding on some international services. What is it going to mean for the outlook for these airlines who, of course, want to bring back furloughed employees as well?
It's certainly good news for Qantas. I think Alan Joyce is very delighted. Qantas CEO Alan Joyce is very happy with this. But as far as the earnings of the airlines go, yes, Qantas has had a very strong domestic recovery, but that actually started in 2020. And they had a big lockdown over the holiday season, Christmas, New Year's, and then they had another small lockdown around Easter. And in this second half of its financial year, that's going to cost them 429 million Australian dollars. So yes, they will make money. Yes, things are going okay for now, but if there's any outbreaks anywhere, you're going to see the doors slam shut again, and it's really going to affect the earnings of the airlines.